he's looking to the viewfinder, and Swami-G's looking a little skewed there, so we need to straighten me up. Straighten up and fly right, Swami-G.
I'm just leaning the other way.
Just lean the other way. Did you think that'll help? Doesn't matter what the form looks like, I don't care.
Right.
What's important is the message, so.
Exactly.
It's not the bearer of the message, it's the, it's within that direct consciousness itself, so it doesn't matter anyway. So I was asked also by someone to speak on a bit about emotions, okay, and emotions on the path, and transiting through emotions and what are emotions, etc. etc., etc. Big subject.
Yes.
So emotions on the path are not the enemy, okay? And even when one gets to realization, there are still emotions. They're emotions of the moment, okay? So people have another wrong view that, if you're on the path and you get to the end, you'll never be angry. Well, look at Christ. Christ was angry. He went to throw the money changers out of the temple. There was anger. Okay? So it doesn't mean that one won't have anger, that there's not a time and place for these things. It happens, okay? It happens. It's part of the transient journey, okay? And what happens, emotion is the movement of Shakti, okay? It's the movement of Shakti. And emotion is felt where? In the form. One feels it through the form. Okay? So it's the same thing. I tell people that when emotion comes up, not to project it out on others, okay? We're not going to regurgitate our thing with our storyline. Well, you did this, therefore I am here. We're not doing that. We're going to sit with the emotion at hand and just feel it as another energetic move. It's like somebody was speaking of anxiety. If you just sit with it and do the balanced breath and sit with it, what you'll find is anxiety is very surface level. You'll feel it. It's very surface level in the skin. And that a lot of the emotions bring forth this surge of either adrenaline or endorphins. And as the physical body, the temple, whatever, however you want to view it, the physical body is like a, like a relational point to experience the transient realm. Okay? It's interfacing, that's good, interface with the transient realm. So whatever happens, whatever causes, whatever emotion, then these things come up and we feel the flow of that. Okay, there's nothing wrong with feeling emotion. Just sit with it. And any emotion, if you can sit with it and breathe through it and not have the reactionary storyline that you're going to run off with. Okay, if we can bypass the reactionary storyline that goes along with it and we breathe into it, you will find that there is a doorway through it and one can come in through it to a stillness. There is a still point there somewhere.
My favorite words that you wrote to me.
So there is a still point there. Okay? So just see, try not to label it. If you take the label away from it and you watch it objectively as a witness, see what happens. Watch what happens. You'll see it just be a flush of adrenaline. You'll see it be as just an endorphin. This, it comes up, it's emotion, it moves, it's that which is moving, like the waves that go out from the center point. Okay? So when one is having these emotions, I say anger is like being the what was it, the pouting, the pouting of the me.
Yes.
It didn't get what it wanted. It's not reacting the way I want it to. Okay? It's the big ego pout. You know? So, but just watch it, because it causes a physical reaction through the body. Okay, and that's what one is relating to. It's that flush of that as it goes through the system, this fight or flight response, which is an adrenaline. Okay, and so if we bring it back to that, rather than make it about poor me and I didn't and why did you, if we go back to just seeing it as a physical response that goes through the system, then we can help to diffuse some of it as well. Okay? So that's all. It's the roller coaster ride, gratis.
The KISS principle.
The what?
KISS principle.
There you go.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple.
Not stupid.
No, I use a keep it simple sadhaka. But it's a little nicer.
Yeah.
Rather than chasing the intellect of let's figure this out, I need to, dwell on this some more. Forget about it,
Yeah,
you
being
know?
right or being kind,
Right.
That's that. I need to be right.
Mhm. Mhm.
What the
Ah,
mind wants.
I need to be right is a big driving thing for
Yes,
people.
I
I need to be right at all costs.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
usually when this
Right.
emotional upheaval occurs, it feels like somebody is impinging on my reality. And this is what I need to keep me safe. And I am no longer feeling safe. So I have that big rush of that adrenaline. Or, my God, I'm having to face the unknown. Therefore, it's an anxiety, this feeling of this tingling that goes across the top of the skin, which is a bit irritating for some people. But if one can get out of that irritation and just relax into the feeling of that, it can be diffused. Free roller coaster ride. And one finds out in the end it's really not all that unpleasant. If one can let go of the driving storyline that attaches to it. Okay? So go back to the simplicity of it all, rather than getting caught up in I need to be right, and how dare somebody, this is not the way I want it to happen. That's always ego. One is in connection with the universe. There's flow. And as long as one is trying to keep themselves separate from it, then there is going to be loggerheads, loggerheads, resistance. Okay, so let's let go of the resistance. And if this big flush immediately comes, then look at it. Well, why? What is being so touched? Really, in this moment, I'm quite fine. And then one can see really the foolishness of it. One can see the foolishness of it.
That's when you're really free of it. That one little piece. There's so many pieces. Instead of one thing coming together, getting an understanding, you would think a lot would follow, but it seems like each and every in my life has had to be dealt with, like the words or something, describing myself. Each one has to die. It's not. It doesn't all go together.
Well, sometimes it does towards the end. But when one is in the midst of the path, then it seems like we have this issue to work on, then this issue, but the issues are endless. So what we want to do is look, what is there holding all these issues in place? What is this me? What is this me? And then we see the fallacy of it.
It's wonderful to have the permission to give oneself the permission not to be in that place.
One doesn't have to remain in that place.
Very liberating, just that.
Just that. If you see that this too will pass, and then if one goes back through one's life, we can usually see some sort of a starting point to where these conditionings were engendered upon us. Usually from childhood things, we are told either you're beautiful and then you run your life around that, or you're ugly and then you run your life around that, or you'll be successful. and run in life, or you'll never be successful, and you fight against that, and you know. So all of these things come from either past life, things that we bring in with us, the tendencies we bring into this life, or they come from childhood, things that we adopted, and we've believed them to be truth.
We're over, I'm sorry.